I've been doing this show for over 4 years, and up until now we haven't really talked about a gay anime. And I think we're overdue. One of the most unique things about anime is its general openness to telling homosexual-themed stories, especially when you consider that the prospect of animation is an expensive one, and any production company would balk at the notion of spending millions of dollars on a project that only a minority of a minority of a minority would personally identify with. Well, it would be if not for the lifeblood of all gay anime storytelling. Fangirls. It's an easy stereotype to make, but make no mistake, the major consumer of yaoi and boy love manga and anime are women. And it's an interesting phenomena to read about. Several writers postulate that the reason why is that it gives women a sort of fantasy window into a romance that realistically they can never be a part of. I mean, besides the fact that the characters aren't real. Myself, I think it's more of a sociological reason. In Japan, it's very common for people to read comics in public. Even ecchi and hentai manga are known to be read on the train to work or home, and it's treated as no big deal. If you're a man. If you're a woman reading porn, the general idea is that you're into sex, and therefore you present a window for guys to approach you and bother you for a date. However, if you read equally sexually explicit yaoi titles, you're left alone. To me, the fantasy aspect is still there, but it's not about being a part of a man-on-man relationship so much as it's about a more socially acceptable way to express your sexual feelings. Further, the relationship dynamics that inform and structure most boilerplate yaoi titles are often tailored for a female point of view when it comes to courtship. Most stories revolve around a submissive and a dominant partner, an uke and seme respectively. From a Japanese point of view, many female readers project themselves in the seme role, feeling that they can, for once, be aggressive with their own sexual desires, towards a non-threatening male. Paraphrasing from a lecture by Akiko Mizoguchi, a doctorate of philosophy from the University of Rochester, when the seme takes the uke sexually, they can feel as if they are putting it to their male partners. Boy love gives control of the relationship to the woman, something they don't often have in real life. These are all very complex and nuanced reasons why the genre is predominantly female-oriented, but I also think there is a much more simpler reason for all of this. Women just find it hot. Not to all women, certainly, but to enough that it doesn't need to be more complicated than that. And the fact that women, on average, appreciate the relationship beyond the sex means that there's more room for a story and not just porn. Hence the market for Shonen Ai, which produced a handful of titles for American fangirls in the early 2000s, and among them was Fake, a story about two New York police detectives that fall in love, and that is so not what I'm talking about, and you know it! Produced and localized during a time when mainstream acceptance of homosexuality was still mired in the tragic death of Matthew Shepard, Fake is a title that seems almost bipolar. Take a look on the back of the box, where it details that yes, these two men on the cover have the hots for each other, but then has to go on its back foot by issuing a viewer discretion warning about alternative lifestyles. It pimps the fact that they're gay, but then all of a sudden they have to throw up a warning saying, "Watch out, you might catch the gay!" Besides the wishy-washy marketing behind it, Fake also suffers from being painfully typical of the genre, so much so that it can be used as a template to write your own hackneyed yaoi fanfiction. In fact, I will be keeping track of every single yaoi cliche that it uses with my patented device meant to keep track of all gayness in the surrounding areas. Think of it like a gay positioning system. Or a GPS. But before we dive in, I have something to say. I have a feeling that some of you out there might be uncomfortable with my frankness about homosexuality and gay romance. So to make everyone more comfortable, I want to make it clear that this isn't an explicit anime. So don't worry about seeing two guys caress each other's chest as they lovingly embrace. They're not gonna have sex, they're just making tummy sticks. Likewise, the scene where they whisper sweet nothings in their ears isn't gonna lead to a down-and-out session of filthy cornholing, they're just baiting fangirls. And finally, the scene where the seme is frustrated with the uke for not yielding to his advances, so he decides to mount him and tear off his clothes even though he tells him to stop and to leave him alone, isn't a sexual assault, he just has too many feels. This is gonna be a sit, isn't it? Right off the bat, Fake scores a double whammy on the GPS by being about two New York detectives on vacation in England. What better to titillate a bored Japanese housewife than two Americans in England? Unfortunately, neither of them go on a backpacking trip through the English moors. Otherwise, we'd have an entirely different movie on our hands.
Good afternoon.
I have a reservation under Randy McLean.
Ah, Mr. McLean. Yes, we've been expecting you. Welcome to our hotel.
Oh, doth the dulcet tones of William Frederick Knight echo forth like the clarion call of Apollo from my digital video disc? This is he. Oh, all mine fortunes would I forfeit, but for a moment clung to his good mouth sounds. Okay, real talk here. I love Will Knight, as he's one of the last bastions of actors not sounding anime. And it's mainly because anime today populates itself with young characters, and someone like Knight would have no place in the cast. And that's a damn shame. Because even when he's in something terrible, he's still compulsively watchable. Even if he's playing British Ned Flanders, you are glued to your seat. But I digress. Seems Seme and Uke are settling into their hotel fine, but back home, their friends can only wonder openly if Seme will finally make Uke his Uke.
So, for $100, you're just gonna let Rio lose his virginity?
I don't think it'll be that easy. Rio definitely knows how to take care of himself.
Yeah, but Dio definitely got real aggressive this time. Just the two of them? He might finally have his way.
He'd probably use chains and whips and leather and candle wax and... I mean, good for him. Oh, female side character who exists only to cheer on the inevitable butt touching? Check. Seems the vacation is going well for the two. Well enough at least for Uke to reminisce about the first time they met.
My name's D. Leitner. Call me D.
I'm Randy McLean. It's very nice to meet you.
Hey, pal. You happen to be Oriental?
Seme buddy, where you been? The term is Asian American. I know you are no intending to be, but calling him Orienter? Offensive to he. That came out of nowhere. Why the accusatory tone there, Seme? Are you scared he's gonna put pee-pee in your Coke? And his eyes look no more Asian than anyone else's here, certainly less so than yours. In fact, you look way more Asian than the apparently Asian-American ginger.
Rio, huh? You don't like being called Rio.
No, I don't really mind.
Then Rio it is. I'll call you Rio from now on.
Oh my god. Just him calling you by your name is enough for you to blush like all the senpais just noticed you. Oh my god. This is beautiful crap. The romantic boat ride ends before Sebastian could get Seme to kiss the girl, as a corpse is found floating in the lake. Seems the game's afoot, but sadly, these chuckleheads think they're playing checkers.
How do you do? My name is Arisa Bryan, and this is my friend, Cindy Irving.
Hi, how are you?
My name's D. Leitner. This guy over here is Randy McLean.
Hi there. Arisa, are you also Japanese?
No way! You're Japanese too?
Yes, in case if you were wondering, they have the exact same conversation in the Japanese audio. Which makes no sense! You mean a Japanese-speaking man is Japanese? Who'da thunk? Why are you wasting your time pussyfooting around? We're here for the man service. So service us, man!
You're still awake?
Yeah, it's too early to sleep. I was just reading a book. So what's up?
I thought that maybe we could have a drink.
Sounds good. There's a full moon out tonight. How about out on the veranda?
Girl, that shit's a balcony. Don't come at me with this veranda bullshit unless you got a roof. But hey, a romantic night underneath the stars still provides the perfect chance for some butt touching. Even when Uke decides to spoil the mood by talking about the murder, Seme ain't having it and goes in for the kiss. But don't think for a moment that this is just any old kiss, because Seme is a professional.
Do not turn my feelings into a joke, Rio.
Literally brought to his knees with a single kiss. Did he suck out all of his youthful energy like an incubus, or did he suddenly contract polio?
Okay, that's as far as we will go tonight.
To tell you the truth, I was hoping we were gonna go all the way!
You and every fangirl from here to Kyoto, I'm sure. Also, why did you say that while looking like the freaking cockmongler? Still, the night turns chaste and Seme drinks until he passes out, and we return to our regularly scheduled tail chasing with Uke waffling on whether or not he loves Seme. Oh, and one of the girls is here too, mainly so that she can play cheerleader and get some filthy butt play going. Oh, and nurture a loving and healthy relationship. Reminding us all that yes, this is supposed to be a murder mystery, the two investigate some strange noises coming from downstairs and discover yet another gay New York detective who's on vacation in England, who is also investigating the murder. Seriously, do they grow like crab apples out there? What are the odds that he just so happens to be vacationing in the exact same area as these two, hold the exact same job, and is also down for the pound? Anyway, he lets the other two know that this murder is most likely related to a string of murders that have been committed around the area, and the victims are always Japanese. But Seme and Uke just blow him off because they don't like his attitude. Hey, it's been at least 5 minutes since these two have done anything gay. I'm losing interest. Well, that's gay and all, but can't you up the ante and make it uncomfortable for everyone?
There's nothing to worry about! You don't have to be afraid! Just lie back and leave everything to me now, Rio!
It's funny! Because rape! Thankfully, the two annoying children that Semi and Uke look after bust in on them. How the fuck did these two go from New York to England?
How'd you guys manage to get all the way here?
Well, you never canceled the flight.
But the reservation was for 3 people, and you're 2 people. And she was never even on the reservation in the first place, and... Okay, you know what? Let's just say pre-9/11. Since nothing is happening in jolly old England, might as well check in on what's happening back home. And the answer is annoyance. Annoyance is happening.
Who said anything about a weekend getaway?
The two of them just decided to take their paid vacation.
Oh my god. I never imagined that something like this would happen while I was away.
Ah, forget it. He's completely obliterated to a word we say.
Okay, sorry, but what did you say?
He's completely obliterated to a word we say.
Completely obliterated. Was this actor drunk? How the fuck did this take happen without the director going into the booth and smacking this guy upside the head, screaming, "It's oblivious, you fuckwit!" And so, still yet another gay New York detective makes his way to England because he's crushing on Seme. Is every guy in New York City a detective and gay? Well, that would explain Shithouse's mustache. But yeah, a lot of nothing keeps happening unless you think watching Mona Marshall cockblock Seme is entertaining, but the story finally does something when both start hearing strange noises again.
Oh, so you're a...
Well, this shit has officially jumped the rails and careened off a Wile E. Coyote cliff. I mean, a ghost? A fucking ghost? And no, this isn't some Scooby-Doo malcontent that's just trying to scare them away from a treasure he's stolen. This is an honest-to-God ghost in a story about gay detectives on vacation in England. I have never seen a plot go from 0 to paranormal wackadoo shit this quickly. This is like if Queer as Folk had a crossover episode with the fucking Ghostbusters. I mean, why? Why have a ghost in an otherwise down-to-earth murder mystery story? It's not like having her spirit witnessed by the characters spurns any kind of investigation, and it's not like they wouldn't have known about her if she wasn't there, since the next day they run into a huge portrait of her in Ned Flanders' office, and he tells the story of her murder. So, again, why the fuck is this ghost here? And most importantly, why the hell does Mona Marshall have Terry Bogard's hat?
Pasta, tomato sauce, garlic, and...
Milk? Who the heck added this?
Right here, me. I did it. Milk makes a body grow.
That might be true, Kara. However, it won't make your boobs grow bigger.
That's none of your business, thank you. At least mine are bigger than yours.
Yeah, your barely pubescent breasts are certainly bigger than a boy's. You sure showed him. Why are you even here? Ah, great. Look, the other gay detective made his way to England too. Fancy that.
I missed you so much! Wow! Okay, now, how about just one little kissy poo?
Oh no.
Okay, here's my luggage. It goes in room 209. And I have to say, it was very unfair of you not to include me on this little getaway. Wait for me, Dee!
What shonen would be complete without the hyperactive super queer that latches onto one of the romantic leads like herpes? And what's worse, the little asshole lets loose that Uke is half Japanese to Ned, and this sets off his crazy alarm because, you see, he's the killer. And this right here is the reason why this plot can only make sense in English.
5 years ago, his 13-year-old daughter was murdered by a group of Japanese visitors. The murderers were identified and arrested soon after the killing. Around that time, the reports of missing Japanese tourists started coming in. Don't you find it a bit suspicious?
Are you saying you think it's the hotel owner?
What I'm saying is that it's a potential motive for the crime.
Just because his daughter was killed by some Japanese guys.
So he kills Japanese people because of his daughter's murder. Well, it's a good thing he was speaking English then, because if he was speaking Japanese, then this heap would have been over by now. I've never seen an anime's plot so completely undone by the fact it's Japanese. What kind of mental gymnastics did they expect their audience to be capable of to comprehend the fact that a guy could not figure out that the Japanese-speaking guest was Japanese? Hell, let's double down and try to wrap our minds around the fact that the racist Japanese killer is speaking Japanese. I never thought I'd see the day that a crater-sized plot hole would be covered up by putting on the English dub. So it becomes a race to save Uke from the nefarious Ned Flanders, who's gone full Patrick Bateman, and has taken him down to his creepy naked puzzle basement, where it looks like he also killed those other women. How tragic.
You shan't get away, Rio.
Wait, it gets better. Yeah! I haven't seen a move like that since Hard Boiled. Woo! Too bad he lives, though. I know, right? Why the hell does he get to walk away from having a 400-pound motorcycle traveling 60 miles per hour land right on his chest without even a scratch? But vacation seems to be over and our heroes are ready and raring to go home, only to find, shocker, that the blonde cop is now their new commissioner. What significance does this hold for the anime? None. Because that's the end. Ah! Fake is one of those kinds of anime that just doesn't work on a fundamental level. Besides the vapid plot and constant fangirl teasing, there's just not enough here to warrant an hour-long OVA. What little story they do have is stretched to the breaking point and filled in with eye-rolling attempts at humor and rubber-faced expressions. But why did I review Fake in the first place? Was it because of the recent SCOTUS decision? Well, it was kind of a factor, but I was planning on talking about Fake for a long time before that came out. Really, what spurred this whole thing on was an email that I got from a fan. A fan of mine asked me if there was any gay-themed anime that wasn't yaoi or shonen ai because he was tired of watching pretty boys prancing around and acting like doofuses. Now, I'm not sure why he thought I would know any such titles, but I looked all around and did my research, only to come to the sad conclusion that, no, there just isn't any. Not to say that gay men can't enjoy these titles, but they are not the intended audience. And isn't that kind of fucked up? Even lesbians can point to a few anime that have positive portrayals of gay women that were written as characters and not trope-laden wank material. Gay men, on the other hand, don't really have that. And whether you believe or not in the effects media can have, the fact that there isn't even a 1 is depressing no matter how you slice it. I mean, if you were gay, and the closest thing you had to an anime that you could relate to was this...
Okay, now, how about just one little kissy poo?
I would probably be pissed. But until such an anime is released, all we can do is wait. And until that time, we must make do with the terrible offerings at our disposal. Till next time. Oh, you gotta watch out for the gay. You know what they do with all those gay people, you know? They like to crisp themselves up and enter each other's orifices. Sometimes they don't even clean them out before they enter. It's a very dirty business. I don't know why I'm doing a bad Jimmy Stewart, but I just don't know what to do with all these butt fucking. Here, let's do that again. Long live your Lord High Regent Sage! Long live Benetopia!